Okay, this is Applied Anatomy and Physiology Lesson 8, looking at gaseous exchange and the regulation of pulmonary ventilation or breathing. Hopefully by the end of the lesson you'll be able to identify the specialised features of alveoli, describe gaseous exchange at the alveoli and at the muscles, and explain the regulation of pulmonary ventilation or breathing during exercise. So firstly, why are the alveoli so good at gaseous exchange? Well, firstly, they've got an excellent network of capillaries surrounding them, which provides a lot of that blood so more gaseous exchange can take place. As we know with the capillaries, they've got thin walls, as do the alveoli, which creates a short diffusing pathway, one cell thick. And there's a huge surface area created with millions of alveoli in each lung, and also with the folding with the walls in terms of the structure of the alveoli, making them really good at their job. All of these meaning that we get more gaseous exchange taking place. So if we look at gaseous exchange firstly from the alveoli point of view, so we've breathed in the oxygen here, and this diagram represents the alveoli and the capillary. We know that gases always move from a high concentration or a high partial pressure to a low partial pressure. As we can see here, the oxygen partial pressure is a lot higher in the alveoli compared with in the capillary, and as a result the oxygen diffuses from a high partial pressure in the alveoli to the capillary, and the oxygen then combines with hemoglobin in the capillary and then is carried to the tissues and to the muscles. The carbon dioxide, so this is returned from our working muscles, is a lot greater in the capillary compared with the alveoli, so the carbon dioxide diffuses from a high partial pressure in the capillary to a low partial pressure in the alveoli, and then it is taken through the respiratory system to be breathed out, and that is how gases move at the alveoli. Now we also need to know what happens to this oxygen once it's diffused into the capillary, combined with hemoglobin and taken to the muscles. So therefore at the capillary we've now got a high partial pressure of oxygen compared with in the working muscle. As a result, the oxygen diffuses from a high partial pressure in the capillary into the muscle from 100 to 40 there, and then we know the myoglobin takes on board, stores the oxygen and takes it to the mitochondria to be used for energy. The carbon dioxide, which is being used as a waste product, produced by a waste product as a result of exercise, is a lot higher in terms of partial pressure in the muscle compared with the capillary. So therefore, carbon dioxide diffuses from the muscle into the capillary from a high partial pressure to a low partial pressure, and then this is taken by the venous return mechanisms back up eventually to the lungs to be breathed out. And that's how gaseous exchange takes place at the muscles. So how is our breathing rate controlled to help all of this gaseous exchange take place? So as we know, we've already got 3 receptors that we're familiar with that detect changes during exercise. We've also got stretch receptors that detect when the lungs are being overinflated because we're having to breathe in and out more. These receptors send a message via the inspiratory center to the respiratory center in the medulla. The stretch receptors send a message via the expiratory center again to the respiratory center in the medulla, and again we've got this medulla that's controlling what's happening. Sympathetic nervous system is stimulated, is switched on, and some changes need to take place. So a message is sent via the phrenic nerve to the breathing muscles, the diaphragm and the external intercostals, but also additionally now during exercise to the sternocleidomastoid, scalene and pectoralis minor, and this increases the breathing rate and depth, so we're getting more oxygen in and faster. A message is also sent via the intercostal nerve to the abdominals and internal intercostals, which increases the rate of expiration. So the abdominals pushes the diaphragm back up and the internal intercostals pulls the rib cage back in to increase the rate of breathing out. And that's how we get more oxygen in and more carbon dioxide out during exercise. Okay, so go back over the video, make your notes and summary questions.